Chapter 15. Well now, boys, what shall we do to scare the scarers, frighten the frighteners, shiver the shivers, called Mound Shroud, inside a cloud? What's bigger than demons and witches? Bigger gods, bigger witches, bigger churches, guessed Tom Skelton. Bless you, Tom, right. An idea gets big, yes, a religion gets big. How? With buildings large enough to cast shadows across an entire land. Build buildings you can see for 100 miles. Build one so tall and famous it has a hunchback in it, ringing bells. So now, boys, help me build it brick by brick, flying buttress by flying buttress. Let's build. Notre Dame, shouted 8 boys. You get to see the up close and personal of me turning the pages. And all the more reason to build Notre Dame because, said Mound Shroud, listen. Bong. A bell tolled in the sky. Bong. Help, whispered a voice when the sound had died. Bong. The boys looked and saw a kind of scaffolding reared up in half a belfry keep. Upon the moon, at the very top, hung a huge bronze bell that was tolling now. And from inside that bell, with every crash and bang and gong, the small voice shouted, Help! The boys looked at Mound Shroud. Their eyes blazed a question. Pipkin? Meet me in the air, thought Tom, and there he is. There, hung upside down over Paris, his head for a knocker, was Pipkin in a bell, or the shadow, ghost, or lost spirit of Pipkin anyway. Which is to say, there was a bell, and when it sounded the hour, why, that sound was made by a flesh and blood clapper, which knocked the rim. Pipkin's head banged the bell. Bong. And again. Bong. Knock his brains out, gasped Henry Hank. Help, called Pipkin. A shadow in the bell, a ghost chained upside down to strike the quarters and the hours. Fly, cried the boys to their brooms. But their brooms lay dead on the Paris stones, no life in them, mourned Mound Shroud. Juice, sap, and fire all gone. Well, now, he rubbed his chin to sparks. How do we get up to help Pipkin with no brooms? You fly, Mr. Mound Shroud. Ah, no, that's not the ticket. You must save him, always and forever, again and again, this night, until one grand salvation. Wait! Ah, inspiration. We were going to build Notre Dame, correct? Well then, let us by all means build it, there, and climb our way up to the hard scold, knock the bell, sound the hour, Pipkin. Hop it, lads, climb those stairs. What stairs? These, here, and here. Bricks fell in place, the boys leapt, and as they put a foot up, out, and down, a stair came under it, one stone at a time. Bong, said the bell. Help, said Pipkin. Feet galloping, empty air came down to tap, rustle, clomp on. A step, another step, and yet another climbing empty space. Help, said Pipkin. Bong, again went the hollow bell. So they ran on emptiness with Mound Shroud prodding, shoving after. They ran on pure, windy light, only to have bricks and stones and mortar shuffle like cards, deal themselves solid, take form beneath their toes and heels. It was like racing through a cake that built itself layer upon stone layer, and the wild bell and sad Pipkin shouting and pleading them on. Our shadow, there it is, said Tom, and indeed the shadow of this cathedral, this splendid Notre Dame, was tossed by moonlight all across France and half of Europe. Up, boys, up, no pause, no rust, run. Bong! Help! They ran. They began to fall with each step, but again and again and again steps came in place and saved them and ran them taller, so the shadows of their spires loomed tall across rivers and fields to snuff the last witch fires at crossroads. Crones, hags, wise men, demon lovers, 1,000 miles off, snuffed like candles, whiffed to smoke, wailed and sank to hide as the church leaned, tilted across the heavens. So even as the Romans cut down droid trees and chopped their god of the dead to fall, we now, with this church, boys, cast such a shadow as knocks all witches off their stilts, and put seedy sorcerers and trite magicians to heel. No more small witch fires, only this great lit candle, Notre Dame, presto. The boys laughed with delight, for the last step fell in place. They had reached the top, gasping. Notre Dame Cathedral was finished and built. Bong! The last soft hour was struck. The great bronze bell shuddered and hung empty. The boys leaned to peer into its cavernous mouth. There was no clapper inside shaped like Pipkin. Pipkin, they whispered. Kin, echoed a bell in a small echo. He's here somewhere, up there in the air. Meet him is what he said, is what he promised. And Pipkin falls back on no promises, said Moundshroud. Look about, boys. Fine handiwork, eh? Centuries of toil done in a fast gallop and sneeze, right? But something beside Pipkin is missing. What? Glance up, scan around. The boys peered. They puzzled. Doesn't the place look awful plain, boys? Awful untouched and unornamented? Gargoyles! Everyone turned to look at Wally Babb, who was dressed as a gargoyle for Halloween. His face fairly beamed with revelation. Gargoyles! The place has got no gargoyles. Gargoyles, Moundshroud uttered, and beautifully ribboned the word with his lizardy tongue. Gargoyles. Shall we put them on, boys? How? Why, I should think we could whistle them in place. Whistle for demons, boys. Whistle for fiends. Give a high, great, tootling blow for beasties and ferocious fanged loomers of the dark. Wally Babb sucked in a great breath. Here's mine, he whistled. All whistled. And the gargoyles? They came running.